All right, now, one other thing before we get into consumer demand, one other thing I'd like to bring to your attention. And we may have time to go over this in more detail later, and we may not, but I bring it to your attention right now. We were talking earlier about the big jump in productivity and how it was made possible by management investing in new technology. Take a look here, and you can see the huge increase in expenditures for non-defense capital goods. Now, non-defense capital goods, this sounds like a very technical term. Let's just say this is equipment. Equipment other than military equipment. And you can see that 1990 purchases were a little under $40 billion. And this is a monthly figure, but all that doesn't matter. By the year 2000, it was almost up to 80. That's a big jump, isn't it? So that shows you a huge increase in expenditures on equipment by business. And it just shows you the kind of investment that took place. Now, if we have time, we will search for these figures too. And you can follow these figures on the web as well. But what I'd like to point out is the very, very, very powerful jump in expenditures on capital goods and the severe slump in the year 2000, 2001, 2002. You can see that really fell. Question to you. And these data are fairly recent, although if we get the time, you'll get a chance to update them and find out the latest. But you'll notice, as of 2006 anyway, we're not past where we were, or at least not substantially past where we were in the year 2000. So we have some, well, I was about to say we have some catching up to do. We've done the catching up, but we haven't really, busted through and gone to a new plateau. Whereas in the past, you can see we always did break through and go on to new heights. But so far, we have not yet. Now, there are some who say that we really don't have any new technologies now the way we did in the 90s. In other words, wireless, the cell phone, the merging of cell phones and computers, the merging of television and computers, all those technologies are not quite as dramatic as the introduction of the PC was. And therefore, we can't expect a burst of technology and a burst of investment in the order we had in the 90s. Well, stay tuned. We'll see. Makes sense. That argument makes sense, but that's anticipating history. It hasn't happened yet. So we'll see what happens. And therefore, there are some who say, well, that big jump over the last 5 years, it's got to slow now because we really don't have that much new technology. What we've done is caught up from the slump we were in. We'll examine all those points of view to a greater extent later. Yes, Cheta.
I have a question. What do you mean by non-defense capital?
Oh, non-defense just means not military.
Okay.
That's all. And capital goods just means plant and equipment. In this case, it means equipment.
Okay.
It's not building. It's just equipment. That's all it means.
Now, would it make the information less easy to parse if you included capital goods spent towards defense?
Oh, okay. Question. Why don't we include the military goods?
Yes.
The reason we don't include the military goods is because the military goods don't respond to the economic cycle. They have their own cycle, and so therefore if we included the military goods, it would reflect other kinds of developments, such as it would reflect to a large extent, if we look at it, would reflect the Vietnam War, it would reflect the Korean War, reflect the war in Iraq. Whereas if we strip them out, then we just get it to reflect the basic business cycle. All right. For instance, there are even some who strip transportation equipment out of here because that's aircraft mainly, and those orders come in such huge values and so discontinuously. Some say it even distorts this just to include even the aircraft, commercial aircraft. Our job here is this, and what I've tried to do is the following. I've tried to get the most readily and easily available data for you at free of charge. That's the easiest to get. So there's always a compromise, always a tension between, let's just say, the applicability and quality of the data versus the ease of obtaining it. Because, I mean, you don't have time to spend all your life doing this, right? So it's got to be your own economist. It's got to be relatively easy and quick. And quick enough to strip out the military, that's the best. And it's reported this way, and so we go for it.